Live from the election zone, here's Nadine Habib.
Breaking news, CP24, Global, and the Ryersonian election desk have called a Liberal majority. We're still waiting for official results from most ridings. In the ridings around Ryerson, the Liberals also came out on top. It looks like Bill Morneau is poised to win Toronto Centre, and Chrystia Freeland is also leading in University Rosedale. Liberal Adam Vaughan was just elected in Spadina, Fort York, beating out Olivia Chow. We're still watching the riding of Eglinton Lawrence. The Conservative candidate Joe Oliver is hoping to keep his seat. Now let's check in with Victoria Chan in the newsroom. Victoria, can you give us an update?
Thanks, Nadine. I'm back with Martin Fox. He is co-founder of the Ryerson NDP. So Martin, tell me, with a Liberal majority, what are the implications for the NDP?
So pollsters were predicting a Liberal minority, and the big question for NDPers was, who are the Liberals going to choose as their partner to try to get legislation passed? Because in a minority, the government has to work with one other party or two other parties. If they choose the Conservatives, then that sort of goes against their progressive image. We were hoping that they would choose the NDP because there are some similarities on a lot of issues. Now that people are projecting, or pollsters are projecting a majority, it means that the NDP won't have pretty much any say in the actual passing of bills and the drafting of legislation. Which is something that we were really hoping for. Like I said, we do have a lot of similarities and priorities. For example, childcare, we could definitely have worked together on that. Taxation, we both sort of agree that the wealthiest Canadians and corporations, we do need to raise some more revenues from those sort of sources. But now with a Liberal majority, the NDP is basically completely shut out. Thankfully, the Conservatives will also be completely shut out. But overall, a Liberal majority is very bad news for the NDP, as it is for every other party, because the Liberals can basically do whatever they want. They don't have to ask the NDP for their opinion. We can't stop anything they want to do. They're not going to even necessarily ask us for input. And that's very bad because, as NDPers and as progressives, we think that the more ideas are involved in a debate, the better the debate is, and that we shouldn't have sort of parties or governments doing whatever they want, sort of imposing their agenda unilaterally. We should try to have a consensus-based system with different parties and different viewpoints, each playing a role within the legislative process. But now it looks like we're going to have a Liberal majority, and the Liberal agenda will become the government agenda and will become Canada's agenda. And that's very unfortunate for the NDP, who we were hoping to have a seat at the table. We're not going to have that. It looks like it.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you for joining us, Martin. Back to you in the studio, Nadine.
I've got Kira on the phone now, who has changed locations, leaving Olivia Chow and headed over to the Rivoli at Queen and Spadina to join winner Adam Vaughan. Kira, what can you give us? Well, the latest updates.
Hi, Nadine. So I'm here at the Rivoli for Adam Vaughan's celebration, his victory party now, and I can tell you that the atmosphere is electric. People say they are stunned, they are shocked. They're so happy. Everyone has smiles on their face. They're up on stage doing a crimson wave. Everyone's very, very excited over here.
Is he there? Is he at the event?
He's not right now. No, he's not here, but a lot of staff, most of his campaign staff are here, and we're all waiting for him to arrive, and I have a feeling it's going to be a pretty epic moment here at Vaughan headquarters.
Wow, and what was it like when you left Olivia Chow's party? What was the feeling there?
It was pretty dejected. I know she had come right after and given her concession speech. I think people were pretty upset with the loss, but I mean, to be honest, it's happened to her. It happened last year before, so it's not something they're not used to seeing, but it was disappointing, to say the least, I think, for a lot of people that worked on her campaign.
Wow, thanks so much, Kara. We'll tune in with you again soon.
Thanks.
Thank you. Alicia Grodkowska now is standing by again to discuss issues that mattered this election. Over to you, Alicia.
Thanks, Nadine. For our last discussion of issues that mattered in this election, we're going to look at the Trans-Pacific Partnership. The TPP opens up Canada to trade with countries in the Asia-Pacific region. Japan, Vietnam, and Australia are just 3 of the 11 countries that Canada has partnered with. But the road to the TPP has been a bumpy one. The trade agreement was a focal point during this election. Negotiations were ongoing throughout the campaign. and a deal was finally signed 2 weeks ago. Stephen Harper praised the TPP, saying that it would help in, quote, opening vast new markets to enterprise, ingenuity, and jobs from coast to coast to coast. Canadian dairy farmers, though, weren't as enthusiastic. Protests on Parliament Hill took place throughout the election. NDP leader Thomas Mulcair has called the TPP a secret deal. His party opposed it throughout the election. The Liberals said that they would support free trade and plan to examine the TPP in more detail. The party have also called attention to Harper's lack of transparency during negotiations, and both parties stated that details of the agreement should have been made public before Election Day. The Green Party made similar statements. A petition available on the party's website called for signatures to oppose the TPP because it aims to, quote, safeguard corporate profits at the expense of Canadians and their environment. It looks like the Liberal Party will have the final say, though, on the TPP and what happens with the agreement in the final months. The negotiations took years, so Trudeau will have to think hard before making rash decisions. That's it for Issues That Matter tonight. I'm Alicia Gradkowska. Back to you, Nadine.
Thanks, Alicia. Now we have an updated national seat count here for you. As you can see, the Liberals have 183 seats, the Conservatives 96, the NDP 27, and Bloc Québécois with 9. And now we're going to turn to Angus Mulroney, who is on the phone with us once again from the NDP party in University Rosedale. Hi, Angus.
Hi, Nadine.
So it looks like NDP candidate Jennifer Hollett has lost the seat. What are people saying over there?
Well, it seems like there are still a few votes that are coming in, but the last count that I have here says that Jennifer Hollett only has about just above 3,100 votes, and she's trailing behind Liberal candidate Chrystia Freeland with well over 4,700 votes. So it's quite a hefty lead that Freeland has over Hollett. So Jennifer Hollett has yet to come to the event. I spoke with a couple different people in the crowd, and they said that she will not likely appear until a little after 11 o'clock when all of the votes are tallied. So unfortunately, I can't speak to what her current state of mind is. Only time will tell about that.
And just a quick question, what's the mood like there? What's it like over there?
People are happy enough. No one's really sort of crying or anything, but it is still very subdued.
Oh, okay.
This is obviously not the outcome that the crowd had wanted.
Of course. So thanks so much for the update, Angus.
You're very welcome.
Now let's check in with Victoria Chan. Victoria, lots of results are now coming in. Can you give us an update, please?
Thanks, Nadine. The city is seeing red tonight, and here is why. Let's have a look at the Toronto seat count. 24 for the Liberals, 1 for the NDP. Just a backflash, 2011, the seats were fairly even for the Conservatives, the NDP, and the Liberals, but it seems like the Liberals are taking over. 905 region. We have the Liberals again. Now, in the past, the Conservatives have often won. A lot of people are saying that the 905 region is, once again, the hot region that could really determine this win. And it seems like the Liberals are significantly ahead. As we go on to Toronto Centre, same situation here. Bill Morneau, Liberal candidate, with 382 votes. Linda McQuaig significantly behind with 133. Now let's go next to Spadina Fort York. Adam Vaughan. Now this comes as quite a surprise for some people because a lot of people saw this riding in particular as a hot spot, a two-way race between the NDP and the Liberals. But we see here that Liberal candidate Adam Vaughan is taking over with 2,367 votes. Now on to the next riding. We've got Toronto Danforth. We've got Julie DeBrusen with 3,072 votes. Craig Scott, 3,019. So, you know, this is still a tight race between the Liberals and the NDP. And the next riding, we have University Rosedale, Chrystia Freeland, Liberal candidate, with 1,302 votes. Jennifer Hollett significantly behind with 660. Back to you in the studio, Nadine.
Thanks, Victoria. Now let's check in with our reporter, Kaya, who's on the phone with us now. Kaya? Hello? Hi, so how's it going?
It's good. We're getting really, really excited now at Morneau campaign headquarters. The candidate is set to arrive any minute now. They've cleared a way through the center of the room. Everybody's really excited. Everyone's kind of waving their Morneau signs around, and we're just waiting for him to get here.
Wow, and what's the energy like there? It must be high.
Yeah, the energy is really, really high. I'm surprised I thought I was going to have to step outside into the rain, but the cheering subsided just for a second. But the room is completely packed now. We've got people trying to get onto the media podium with us so they can see better. Yeah, really, really busy. And I'm seeing a lot of kids. I'm wondering if his kids are here actually, which means he can't be too far behind.
Wow, okay. And is his family there, you think? His wife?
Sorry, I can't even hear you. The crowd is starting to pick up again. You can't really even lead your way through it anymore. I'm trying to find an exit point so I could hear better, but
that's all right, Kai.
I'm just trapped up here.
It's okay. We can check in with you later.
Okay.
All right. Thanks so much.
Okay, bye.
Thanks. Bye. Now we're going to turn to an updated national seat count. As you can see, the Liberals lead with 180 seats. The Conservatives have 102, NDP with 32. The Green Party has 1 now, and Bloc Québécois has 32. Now let's return to our panel of experts. Peter, what are your final thoughts on the results tonight?
Thanks, Nadine. Well, we've heard it already right here. It's a Liberal majority. Justin Trudeau will be our next Prime Minister. But what can we expect from our incumbent Prime Minister, Stephen Harper, in the coming hours? Sean?
Well, I think with such a commanding lead for the Liberals right now, Harper will come out in the next little while with a concession speech giving up reign as Prime Minister. Following that, in the next couple, probably 24 to 48 hours, he'll visit the Governor General, where he will resign as Prime Minister, and the Governor General will ask Justin Trudeau to form government to be our next Parliament. And then beyond that, the Liberals over the next week will get together quite quickly to swear in its cabinet and to announce its cabinet. So things will happen quite quickly with this government, and we should see a speech from the throne within a month or a month and a half.
Sorry, everyone, can I get an update, please?
Jacqueline, where do you see the Conservatives going from here as they try to rebuild?
Well, I mean, exactly as Sean said, that's what's going to happen with the government. As for the Conservative Party, I mean, they'll have to find a new leader. I mean, they've lost a lot of seats tonight, so I think they're really going to have to look at a little bit of a rebrand almost. Maybe evaluate why this happened, why it was such a devastating loss for them, and they'll just have to go from there, you know, pick up the pieces as best they can.
Now, in addition to seeing the Liberals take a majority, we also saw the NDP lose plenty of ground and the Bloc Québécois resurging. Do you think that the Conservatives can rebound in that same way as the Liberals have this year?
Well, we have 5 years, right? Like we don't even have this government sworn in yet. I think there's going to be a lot of time to plan that out. I think that we will see in the coming days Stephen Harper step down as leader of this party. I think he's going to take a brunt of the blame for this loss tonight, and rightly so. I think we've been hearing this for weeks from many commentators around the country that I think it's just it's time for him to leave the party. And so I think it'll depend on who steps up to that plate. And I know there are going to be many contenders to lead this party.
Now,
sorry, I was going to say, I think for sure you'll see the party probably move to the left a little bit. You've had Harper leading it for the last 9 years, and he used to be part of the Reform Party, right? And the Reform Party had some pretty ambitious plans for Canada, and I don't think that's probably where the Conservative Party wants to be headed after losing so many seats. So probably slightly to the left, I think.
Well, oh, go ahead, Jacqueline.
Oh, I was just going to say, yeah, I think it's a wake-up call. Clearly, Canadians want something else, and if they want to stay relevant in this country, they're going to have to move towards it. So.
Absolutely. Well, we certainly have seen some major changes today, and it's been great discussing these changes with you. Nadine, for the last time from the panelists, back to you.
Thanks so much, Peter, and thank you to your fabulous panelists. Now let's take a look at Outremont. Here are the updated numbers. As you can see that Tom Mulcair has taken the lead with more than 1,000 votes, with Rachel not too far behind. And here we have our updated result in Eglinton Lawrence. Marco Mendicino is leading with almost close to 3,000 votes, with Joe Oliver with 2,100. Now let's check in with Adina, who is in Eglinton Lawrence. Adina, Conservative Joe Oliver and Liberal Marco Mendicino are neck and neck over there. Is there still hope that Oliver will be re-elected?
Hi, Nadine. It is hard to say because the numbers keep fluctuating. Right now, we're just getting numbers in that Mr. Mendicino has 6,035 votes, while Mr. Oliver is at 5,165. So it is, while there is the gap is widening, it is still very close. We don't know what will happen ultimately, but Joe Oliver is trying to hold on to that Eglinton Lawrence riding.
And what's the energy like over there?
The energy is pretty crazy right now. Significantly different than it was a couple minutes ago. People are here, they're eating, they're waiting for Joe Oliver. They're excited, they're hoping that he can hold on to this riding. But again, we don't know for sure. But because it is so neck and neck, I think that's kind of contributing to the excitement that we're seeing right now.
And just one last time, what is your feeling about how it's going to turn out?
I do have a feeling that Mr. Mendicino is going to take this election, but I do feel that Mr. Oliver will end up close behind. It's not going to be a big difference in the votes once this election is over.
All right. Thanks so much, Adina.
Thanks, Nadine.
Thanks. Now, Yasmin Maturin and Alicia Birdie bring us the final social media update of our election night coverage. Over to you, Yasmin and Alicia.
Thanks, Nadine. And so for the conversation that's been going on online, we've been monitoring it, and we pulled a few funny tweets that's gone up. So for our next tweet, congratulations, Mr. Prime Minister. What do you plan to do next? And a cute little photo of a baby Prime Minister. Right over here. And on to the next tweet.
This is from Bad Legal LLP. They said Harper is disappointed, but he says he will continue to muzzle scientists on a freelance basis.
And the next tweet by Andrew Chisom. Too bad PM Harper screwed with EI. A lot of his friends are finding themselves unemployed this evening. Karma.
And another tweet by Sarah Ashley. For Prime Minister Harper, the tribe has spoken, ... It's time for you to go.
And the next tweet by Mark Fennell. Well done, Canada, on voting Josh Groban as your new leader. #TrudeauMania.
Social media was a very popular tool during this year's federal election. The Liberals, I would say, probably had the most interactions with their followers on all platforms, social media, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram.
Absolutely. And if we were to compare all the numbers social media-wise, the Liberals definitely had a strong impression online. With the Liberals on Facebook had 390,000 followers. And on Instagram, they dominated with 33.8K followers.
Yes, it's funny. And Trudeau came onto social media after Prime Minister Harper. So obviously he's been Prime Minister for so long, but he does have more followers. He does have a bigger kind of, we would say, fan base, I guess, because it's social media. So it's funny how like the kind of don't add up to how long the Prime Minister has actually been Prime Minister compared to Justin Trudeau's numbers.
Yeah. And that's all for our social trending segment. And thank you for watching. And back to you, Nadine.
Okay. She's still shuffling. Thanks, Alicia and Yasmin. Now we're going to bring our updated national board for the last time. As you can see, the Liberals have the majority government with 183 seats, the Conservatives with 104, NDP with 35, the Green Party with 1, and Bloc Québécois with 10 seats. Well, it's been an interesting night. Canada has voted for change. The Liberals will take over after nearly 10 years of Conservative rule, and Justin Trudeau will be our new Prime Minister. Remember to tune in tomorrow at 1:30 for our election wrap. Thanks for joining us for Rye Votes, the Ryersonian's election special, and good night.